The rebels had won the day, but it was Callaghan, who had gambled on his ability to keep the nationalists on side by paying lip service to devolution, who was to pay the price.
I remember going to the SNP National Council and quite deliberately, sabre-rattling, saying,
"They have one last chance, and if they don't take that last chance, then we must vote against them. We must do everything we can to get everybody in the House of Commons to vote against them. And if that means, Mr Chairman, going in for the fancy-dan parliamentary tricks that they appear to be looking forward to, then we would do it. We bring them down if they don't keep this promise. They have one last chance to do it."
The SNP's revenge on Callaghan was to table a motion of no confidence in the government for failing to deliver on their commitment to an assembly. Waiting in the wings, the leader of the opposition. Avowedly pro-unionist, she was nevertheless quick to seize on a God-given political opportunity.
Good evening. I know that everyone's saying we're going to have an election in the near future. I'm sorry I can't tell you for certain. The actual decision doesn't rest with me, but I hope they're right. Yesterday evening, after considering Mr. Callaghan's statement in the House of Commons about devolution, I put down a motion of no confidence in the government.
Mrs. Thatcher.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move that this House has no confidence in Her Majesty's government. The only way to renew the authority of parliamentary government is to seek a fresh mandate from the people and to seek it quickly. And we challenge the government to do so before this day is through.
Yeah. The question is that this House has no confidence in Her Majesty's government.
That is the most exciting moment in my parliamentary life.
The Prime Minister.
So this evening, the Conservative Party, who want the Act repealed and oppose even devolution, will march through the lobby with the SNP, who want independence for Scotland. What a massive display of unsullied resistance.
We had to try and get something out of the debacle. And for good or bad reasons, the MPs were instructed to use the nuclear threat of a no-confidence vote to persuade the Labour government to deliver.
That SNP group, for which I had very little regard, let me tell you, had no political common sense whatsoever.
And I am told that the current joke going round the House is that it's the first time in recorded history that turkeys have been known to vote for an early Christmas.
I think they thought the Labour government's going to be proved to have reneged on its promise of a Scottish Assembly, therefore we will romp the next election. And that was one of the major miscalculations of all time in Scottish politics.
Everyone knew it was going to be very, very tight, and that suspense continued right until the last moment.
It looked as if we might have won at first, because one member came from the Aye lobby and put his thumb up.
And there was a great cheer on the Labour benches, because the inference was they'd won, and we were feeling very depressed.
He apparently thought we'd won by one vote, 312 to 311, but actually we had only had 310 votes.
A few seconds later, a Conservative whip, having got the very final figure, actually came through and made it clear to Mrs. Thatcher on our side, the other way around.
So, at that moment, the Labour government ended. Jim and Thatcher made short statements, and as we walked out, Labour MPs sang the red flag. That's the end of a memorable day in British politics, the first time for 54 years that any government has been defeated on a vote of confidence.
Margaret Thatcher swept to power in the general election of May 1979. For the next 11 years, a committed unionist Prime Minister would be in power.